Possibly this. Yitty yitty. There we go. That should do it. Welcome. There it is. There we go. All right. Thank you for that. It's been a minute. See if we can get this pushed through. So we get that audio go. Maybe this. And I'll add this. Again.
The system is going to tolerate that. Getting the resources that we've been given just shows that we have this potential.
It's no secret that women's cycling has
There
always
we go.
been in the shadow of the men's. And after more than 3 decades, the return of the Women's Tour de France signifies that women's cycling will finally be given equal space on the stage.
It's a huge moment for our sport.
Right, it's been a while since I've streamed
It is going to be
and doing a lot of outdoor stuff, which is nice.
change of women's cycling.
Change. It's been hard fought and a long time coming. Now it's here. Well, of course we affect change. I mean, that's everything we do is affecting change.
Change is terrifying. Yeah.
Change
So
is
much of our
terrifying.
world is constantly changing, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. With this comes challenges, and with challenges comes setbacks, and you don't know how the system is going to tolerate that. Getting the resources that we've been given just shows that we have this potential.
It's no secret that women's cycling has always been in the shadow of the men's. And after more than 3 decades, the return of the Women's Tour de France
Women's Tour de
signifies
France. Look
that
at
women's
that.
cycling will finally be given equal space on the stage.
That's pretty
It's
awesome.
a huge moment for our sport. I don't think you're going to have seen anything like it. It is going to be the catalyst for the biggest change of women's cycling.
It's a huge step, underscored by decades of small steps, some forward and some backward. So, what does this symbolic moment in sport mean? And perhaps more importantly, why is this time any different than the last? Because teams like EF Education, TIBCO, SVB, and with leaders like Linda Jackson, didn't wait around for change to happen. They've been laying the groundwork for decades. But what do I know? I mean, I'm only the first American to win the Tour de France.
That's cool. Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, it was definitely a fun race to watch. What was your favorite part? Oh, and what do you think? Ooh, this looks awesome. What's your next step?
Always ready. Born ready.
I mean, our ambitions for today is that you will still go there as easy as possible. I think today is a better opportunity for breakaways, but I think we can expect more, dangerous attacks. I know it is not easy. I know that, and we can get frustrated and all that, but we still need to keep trying. We have no other option, and that is what I expect you to keep doing.
We're currently near London. I'm not sure exactly where we are. We're just finishing up Ride London. I had no idea there were so many amazing spectators that came out in this area. This season has had a lot of ups and downs. I unfortunately wasn't able to do the Ardennes races as I minorly fractured my elbow. After that, I was able to do well at Elsie Jacobs, so that was an extreme high on the other side.
That's cool. Yeah.
I'm feeling tired, but also excited and motivated and very optimistic. For
Yeah.
me personally, I've had a
I know.
pretty slow
Abby's
start to
so
the season
strong.
and then really started
There's
ramping
video of
up.
her
Just
training.
come off of a really big
with the
block of
guys'
races,
team.
and I'm looking forward
And
to the
she's
Giro
killing it.
because I know that I'll have
Pushed
full
and
team
pulled
support
every
there,
which
and
way.
the courses suit me, and it's just a lot
It's
of
awesome.
really hard racing.
For the team, EF Education TIBCO SVB, we've really finally just got rolling in the last month. It always takes some time with a new team for everybody to gel, everybody to bond together, and I think looking forward to what's coming later this season with the first Women's Tour de France, and it's a really exciting
Wow.
time for our team.
Interesting. Man, I can imagine riding through that. Yeah. Yeah, I was sick.
To talk
but
about
feel better
change
now.
in women's cycling and this year's Tour de France, without reference to the race's older sister, would be like forgetting to mention rim brakes when talking about disc brakes. The original women's tour had as many as 18 stages. We raced
there
on
we
the
go.
same final kilometers as the men's race, and we shared a
Nice.
finish line. Sound ahead of its time? That's because it was. So back in the 80s, we had lots of opportunities. There were great
First load.
races around the world. I mean, but when I
Hold
heard
up.
about the Women's Tour de France the previous year, that was all I wanted to do. I didn't know I was going to be riding in the Tour de France until about 10 days before the race started.
Wow,
I
10
was the
days.
last one chosen for the team. That spring at training camp, I wasn't recovering. I didn't know what was wrong, and I found out I was really anemic. But I started coming around, and I talked to the coach, Eddie B. He came out and said, okay, you can go. I think it was a
we
real
go.
benefit to have not been going hard all that time because I just rode right into the race.
de coutumier. Ces
Look
jeunes
at that.
femmes vivent un jour historique, celui du départ du premier Tour de France féminin.
We raced about the last 60 or 70 kilometers of the men's course. So we were on the same course as the men, but just the last part of theirs. The French didn't think that we would even finish. So they didn't want to make our races too long. And then we had the same finish line and we had the same crowds. When we went up in the mountains, up to the passes, I couldn't even see the road until the people parted. There was a certain beauty to that. I'm sure that helped us go up those hills.
That's awesome.
I just felt like the whole month I was doing exactly what I wanted to do and soaking up everything. As I started taking the lead and started thinking, oh my gosh, I could win this. And realizing that, yeah, there's nobody as strong as me on the hills. So winning was just such a huge bonus.
3 minutes. Hold it.
I think the women's race didn't continue as it could because there wasn't the sponsorship that kept it going. There wasn't the financial support. The men's race had all the history and it had been going for years and years. Their focus was the men's race, and
Later. Later,
that
Kev.
when it became cumbersome or financially not profitable, it just went away. I think we were just ahead of our time back then. Fast forward to 2022.
Yeah, I do.
Gears no longer operate
right.
by friction, and helmets are mandatory. But at the heart of it all, not much has changed. Bikes still have 2 wheels and a set of pedals. The mountains in France are just
Yeah, I
as
don't
high.
understand it either.
And preparing yourself for the biggest bike race in history is still hard work.
The preparation for the Tour de France starts last year, back in October, November. It starts with off-season. It
2 minutes?
starts with planning your season, working out how you're going to be in top form for July. There are always things that happen. Sometimes you get sick, sometimes you crash, and you can't plan for those things.
I think this whole season leading up to the Tour de France has been a really important step into preparing for the Tour, learning how to navigate in the peloton and being at the right place at the right time.
Your preparation really depends on your role and how you function best as an athlete. There will definitely be quite a bit of media around
yeah,
it,
tune
and
in
for
for that,
some
sure.
riders that's like really exciting, and for some riders that's really tiring. For me personally, like the most important thing is just going into it like optimistic.
You just have to be prepared for it to be the hardest thing you've ever done. And as long as you know that, and as long as you know that if you're suffering, everybody else is suffering, then that's the only thing that you need to remember.
Ride London.
It thrills me to no end to see the women's race coming back. And having something like that to aspire to, I think it's going to bring more women into the sport.
Racing in this Tour de France, the first one in 33 years, it feels like an honor and a privilege, but it's also one that the racers have earned.
Mountain bike, huh?
When we see the
That's
Tour
cool.
de France fam this year, it is going to be the catalyst for the biggest change that you will have seen in terms of women's cycling.
And I
Still
think
it's
it's
watching
important
gravel.
that the racers who aren't selected for the roster
really
know
fun.
that they're still a part of it.
To watch.
Hype around it is real, and that signifies there is progress, and there is more attention, and more people want to see women's cycling, and more people are supporting women's cycling.
It's a very, very important race, and it's really exciting to be
Nice.
part of it.
Oh my gosh. I gotta see that. That is mental. Wow.
Men's and women's cycling, I think they're different sports in my opinion. Our races, sometimes they have the same names, but they're raced in a completely different way.
Most female racers will tell you we're not trying to duplicate what's happening in men's cycling. We're trying to do things maybe even better, at least at a minimum differently.
And what's interesting is that recently the men have actually started to race more like the women. Because it's shorter, it's more explosive, it's more exciting, and it's so much more engaging for the viewer.
It's coming together in terms of parity of support and infrastructure, but there's still a large difference.
So riders are getting dropped from the back, so please be careful. Now, in a few kilometers, we have to sprint.
You know, a lot of people have focused on the prize money as being the issue between the men and the women. You talk to the majority of the women's peloton, that's not what they're focused on. They're focused on the opportunity to race.
It's less of a concern to me now that salaries have increased so much. There's areas that I'd rather see them put that money into than us each taking home 100 more euros.
Perhaps we need to say this is a prize pot for the race, and then we split it, and then we're going to have equal coverage for the men's race and the women's race.
And I think as viewership and as coverage gets more expanded for women's cycling, we will see the prize money for women's
45
cycling
seconds
go
here.
up.
I don't want to mince words. Change is meaningless unless we see it through. Sure, it's inevitable, it's constant, and all that.
Welcome as you just
Change
joined in.
doesn't adhere to good intentions or well wishes or the desperate need for it. Change is directed by those making it happen. So, with the momentum for change greater than ever before, how should we use it?
Nice. I'll pull it up
How
after this.
can we build it?
I want to see it.
And who should be behind it?
Yeah, I'll let it.
Change in women's cycling has to be meaningful.
Here we go.
You can't have change for the sake of change.
I think it's always a delicate balance when we push for change. You don't know how the system is going to tolerate that.
I think a lot of women in the past 2 decades have been happy just to have had the opportunity to race. Now
Absolutely.
that we're proving what we can do, it's time to move forward.
But in order for things to really change, we need a change of culture. And I think we need that at the top level.
With this comes challenges.
What's up,
and
Damon?
with challenges come setbacks.
Good morning to you.
If we demand higher salaries, our team's going to be able to afford that.
The fact that we have the Tour de France Femme shows that we've made such huge progress in women's cycling, but it shows that we need it and we need more in order for the sport to continue to grow.
I think we're already on the right track. I think if we just keep showing up and giving our best every day, that's what puts us in the spotlight the most. Like, you know, we're not afraid to say, hey, this is who I am and this is my life. You know, come share this journey with me. And I think that's something that fans get really excited about.
And we deserve this platform. We have fought so hard for this platform, but none of that would have happened without change, without strong voices, without advocacy.
Canyon?
And all of those
Canyon.
things are really important.
Canyon Stram. That's where they go.
Yeah, I think EF Education, TIPCO, SVB has really taken a strong stand saying like we're going to offer the salaries that they offer the men's and we're going to give the women the support and respect that they deserve.
That's awesome.
And I think it's really cool that we have the resources now to do that.
You know, the sponsors are there and they all wanted to buy into this idea of us moving up to the Women's World Tour. And you can see in the results this season, that extra input of sponsorship and money has enabled us to move up with our results.
Everybody should have a sporting hero who looks like them, who is like them.
2 minutes.
Of the women lining up on the start line at this year's tour, many of them were not even alive during the last race.
Nuts.
So they haven't had that. Now, women will see women on the podium. And the next generation of Tour de France champions will begin their journey in cycling because of those who line up in July.
is influencing women's cycling because we're really a scrappy group of women in the best way.
We've got really interesting characters.
Some of us are older, some of us have had different backgrounds coming in
and haven't necessarily grown up on the bike.
We take these talented riders from all over the place and we create stars. But all of us deserve this opportunity as much as anybody else. And it's such an exciting way to give a rider a voice and a platform.
1 minute.
It feels really amazing to be racing for the longest running women's pro cycling team.
I think it's a unique experience for me
Longest
being on
running
this
women's team,
because I was on it a decade ago and I've seen the change.
Linda Jackson started this team 17 years ago. She started it from nothing, and over time, she's built it up to the Women's World Tour team it is today.
I think it really shows the grit and the passion that there is for women's cycling.
It's a really good support system that we have here, and I think Linda should be very proud of what she's created.
30 seconds.
I hope to influence people watching the Women's Tour de France by, again, showing that we are this new force within the Women's World Tour and that
15.
we have this potential that may not be tapped yet.
Whether people watching this know it or not, like, they're a part of the history that's been written and is being written, and I think they can take a lot of pride in what's happening right now.
With the Women's Tour de France around the corner, it is truly an incredible time for the sport of cycling. May the road be open from here on out.
Heck yeah. That's cool. There you go, 4 cross. Oh, that's cool. Got a minute 15 here. Reminds me of BMX racing. Oh. BMX for big boys? Yeah. Suspension too, huh? Yeah. Well, front suspension at least, right? I see. Oh no, that one's full suspension. 30 seconds. One more. One more up, just like that. Oh, that's cool. Rock gardens like that.
Michael Williams from Melbourne, Australia. I don't know how far it is. It's, I don't know, a long way. 24-hour flight anyway, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're having pretty dry conditions today here at the qualifying day. It's Thursday. I think everyone is going pretty fast, you know. The track is running really quick and it's going to be a tight qualifying for sure.
We know the track pretty well. We're racing here already for many years with just small changes on the track, and I mean this year the difference is that the track is super loose. Everyone knows it perfectly, so it's gonna be about those little tiny mistakes which is gonna be making at the end the big result. And yeah, I mean here you gotta go without any mistakes, otherwise you will not be on the first spot. So it's about non-mistake run. Yeah, and that's a good position for the race because the inside line is really important here.
See it. Nice. Only 12 I one at a time.
Remain racing, and we are doing BMX, riding BMX, and
yeah,
we came
BMX.
here to ride the 4-cross. The track is pretty fun, so much rocks, but it's fun. A little bit slippery, but we have fun with the team here, and we are gonna try to qualify. So let's see.
So they qualify on time and probably go to heat, I'd imagine. Yeah. Shoulder to shoulder though. Single speed, I'd imagine. Two minutes.
Hey everyone, my name's Scott Beaumont and welcome to the 2019 Full Cross World Championships.
What is this? Well, chainsaws without saws. Here they go. Oh! Missed. One minute. Nice. Offline. Nice. 30 seconds. Women too. Ouch. Ouch. Into the fence. No bike. 20 seconds. Ten seconds. Come on. There you go.
Last year it was very hard to win that title. This year it was even harder to defend, so it's amazing. I'm very happy.
Nice. Six minutes.
It's cool to win. I'm from BMX racing, so I just came here to have
BMX
fun
racing.
and enjoy
Nice.
my moment. So pretty cool to take the win and have fun with my friends, and it's cool, pretty cool.
Nice. Nice. Oh. Let's go.
Well, here I am again. Find myself sitting on a seat in my barn. And a lot has changed in the last, goodness, I guess it was November,
mid-December 2019.
I just made the decision to
enter in a new phase of my life,
retire from pro road racing.
I had a crash in March that has changed the course of my life and has changed the course of my career.
Kind of see what the gravel race scene was all about. And then in May of last year, I went to my first gravel race as a gravel racer, I guess. I noticed something very distinctly had changed inside of me at that race, that there was no longer a desire to win. I was racing for my own internal kind of satisfaction and desire to prove that I could do it and that I was strong enough. And then a few weeks after the Rule of Three, I went to the Unbound Gravel 200. Yeah, lo and behold, I won that in a sprint against Lawrence Tandem, and that changed a lot of things. And it felt very strange to have won probably my biggest ever race at a point in my life when I was no longer trying to win. I found so much more joy and pleasure in proving to those around me and to my competitors that I was strong.
He's great at cleaning up dishes, but he's not the best chef. So both my brother and I learned how to cook very quickly when we were young. I guess that was one thing I remember from Unbound afterwards, that a sensation I had not had in a long time. And like for several days, is just feeling completely useless. It's something I hadn't had since like a Grand Tour, where you're just so tired and your legs are so swollen and sore. But not the best feeling.
Come sit with us.
Yeah, well, I guess at the end of Unbound last year, I told all of you that I was going to be a father, and I didn't really know how that was going to change my life. And this has changed, because now I have no space for bikes in here anymore, because we have strollers. And it has definitely changed my perspective on life, and it's brought us so much joy to bring a beautiful young girl into this world.
I just so admire him as a father. He's just so full of love, and when you get married and like find a partner in life, you think that you've found the epitome of love, and then you have a kid and your heart expands like tenfold.
Being a parent has taught me that parents are incredible. Just realizing like how much time and energy goes into raising a child.
Being a parent for both him and for me has made those moments that you can take for yourself really valuable.
There were times when I'm like, God, I'm done doing it. Like, I'm not gonna race again this year. Like, there's too much going on. Like, there's no way I can like think about like training and traveling. But we incredibly like adapt to the situation. As Ingrid grew and I kind of came to terms with like the time I had available, I realized I still can do this.
45 minutes till sunset.
Yeah, we're sitting here now before Unbound, and
15 seconds.
I don't really know what to expect this year. Last year, I was very relaxed coming into the whole kind of summer series of races. Then all of a sudden, I'm returning this year as the defending winner, and there's this underlying sense of expectation, and that's been a challenging kind of hurdle to jump over. But I just think in my mind, would going back and winning beat the sensation of what it was like last year? But I do have to remind myself that winning is not the ultimate goal, and that this is meant to be fun, and I think we need to make sure we keep it fun.
Meant to be fun, yep. I remember that. 1 minute. Arms up. Steady up.
Normally we take this time to thank our sponsors, and they know who they are, and they know we're thankful, so we're going to skip that part. And I'm sure many of you have heard, if you've seen the Velo News article, we lost Mo, I believe it was Wednesday evening. I've been in contact with her parents, her family, back and forth. Regarding the race, they sent me a statement, and they basically said, we want you all to do what Mo wants you all to do. She wants you to race. She wants you to race with passion. She wants you to challenge yourself. She wants you to have the best race ever. Watch out for one another. Help each other out. So let's honor her. I certainly want to find some way that we will honor her with Gravel Locos.
2 weeks ago, I was down at the Gravel Locos in Hico, Texas, when we learned about the tragedy and the loss of life of Mariah Wilson, and that was really challenging and hard to just grasp what had happened. You know, what has come of that for me in the last few days has just been the realization that this doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we're just racing our bikes, and it's meant to be fun. And so quickly we can get away from the root of why we all started this.
Seeing the way that the cycling community was reacting just solidified that it's not just a sport, it's a family. Like, everybody is watching out for each other.
Remember this guy? Yeah? Or Kenya? My name is Molly Cameron. I use she, her pronouns. We're here at Unbound Gravel. It's been insane. It's been great.
Three minutes. We're good. Plenty of time. Spin it up.
Ian speaks a lot about the importance of integrity in the sport, and especially after Gravel Locos, he was feeling a little bit frustrated because gravel has gained a lot more recognition and drawn in a lot of younger riders.
I've noticed a big change already this year in that there's been an increased focus on the performance side of it.
It's gotten so refined, which in some ways is really cool because we're going to see people go faster, but in other ways, like, it's just gotten more serious.
That's a cool shot.
And one thing I found so beautiful is that with gravel racing and these mixed surface races, we've started something completely new. We have a new foundation, we have a new landscape to create whatever sort of ecosystem we want to build. But I also feel this responsibility to make sure that we don't lose this mindset of this is meant to be fun, this is meant to be something we share with not just the competitors immediately around us, but with the larger community of riders who are at these events.
We can all go and ride 200 miles. It doesn't matter what gender you are, how fat you are, if you're skinny, if you're black or white, or we all go through this journey together. Running and cycling are so well positioned to truly embrace and kind of implement true inclusion and diversity.
It's something that it's so delicate, and I think if we lose that camaraderie of athletes seeking respect of their peers, then before you know it, gravel racing will turn into road racing off-road. I want to cross the finish line, and I want to be able to look at my competitors, whether they're ahead of me or they're behind me, and give them a hug, give them a handshake, and acknowledge that we both had a phenomenal day out on the bike.
Minutes.
The next frontier, I think I'm still living it. I think I'm still enjoying what I'm doing. I think I've been able to figure out that for the first time in my cycling career, I get to choose how I do this. I get to pick the races I go to, I get to pick when I ride, how I ride, which is very refreshing. You know, I was thinking about this concept of the Frontiers film series that's focusing on the individual athletes and kind of their journey. And, you know, we all have a different journey, we all have a different story to tell. I realized that through these stories that these athletes are telling, the performance isn't the key storyline in these films, and there's a lot more to being a bike rider than just winning races, and the results come from the hard work, but, you know, it's really that shared experience that we all have. Success would be, I think more so than any result, would be returning and have just another clean run at it. If you can cross the finish line and realize that you did everything you could and gave your best effort, then you should be satisfied with that. And I think that that should be more rewarded than the result.
Nice. Drop the mic. Yeah, Will Wilson, man.
At the the Wahoo Sports Science Center here, we are doing research to help provide better products, both software and hardware at Wahoo, as well as working with different Wahooligans, some of our sponsored athletes and elite and professional athletes, in helping them be able to train more effectively and get the most out of what they do. The testing that we do here at the Wahoo Sports Science Center has one aspect where we are looking to refine and improve the different protocols that we have available in our apps, like the system app, as well as to provide actionable information for athletes to improve their training and racing performance. We work to improve performance for athletes across a range of how sports science methodologies are presented in our hardware, as well as what we find in our software, both from kind of a coaching point of view, workouts, training plans, as well as some of the integrations of sports science, philosophy, and applications into our hardware and software at Wahoo. Our mission at Wahoo is to help build the better athlete in all of us. Our goal at Wahoo Sports Science is to help all of our athletes train with purpose.
Oh my god. Are you kidding me? That was pretty awesome, actually. Oh wow, look at all these. This one is good. 24 hours of Pueblo. Yes. Yes. Three minutes. Plenty of time. Mountain bike cross. What's up, Patrick? Yes, doing well. Thank you, Patrick. Good to see you on RGT with your crew too. It is an exciting time. Yeah. Yeah, it's good to see you guys on here, man. It's amazing. We've definitely transitioned a lot of our team efforts this way, so it's been good.
I don't know if anyone really has it dialed or perfected yet. So it might be like one of the rare times we had mud really this summer.
I just need to like bring myself to that standard and that level of intensity, and
I'm just gonna have to set this goal aside for a moment, look at the bigger picture, reassess, and then make a new plan.
I'm on a mission for the perfect eggies and toast.
Eggies. Nice, eggies and toast.
It's a quest I'm very passionate about in life. Just like a little bit runny egg, a little bit soft, but not
overdone. So the key is low heat. Low heat.
It's a secret.
Often when we get to an event and we can't quite get on track until usually the official training time, which is generally on a Thursday afternoon, a lot of emphasis goes in on trying to get into a routine as quickly as possible. No matter how you slice it, traveling for 10, 12 hours on top of the pre-packing before, which, you know what pre-packing looks like, it's usually pretty lengthy and energy draining. So really just kind of getting into a routine as quickly as possible, getting organized, eliminating distractions, and yeah, I think just really trying to focus on routine early in the week, and then that allows you to put a lot of energy when you are on track.
It is Thursday afternoon and we are here at Snowshoe where the track is at the top of the mountain. We're kind of socked in by a cloud, which has been how it's been all week, but we've not had a really muddy rain race this year yet, so I mean we're welcome to it. It's part of racing. It's a lot more work for the mechanics, but it's kind of fun. Once you get wet, once you get muddy, it's kind of its own technical fun
Let me jump to Leadville. I
element.
wanted to see this before I get off.
Just let it go.
18 seconds.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. What is going on?
All I needed was your voice.
What is going on? Here we go. Last one. This is it. We got shakedown tomorrow. Big Bear. Getting ready for Mammoth Fondo. We'll head up to the mountains for a little bit of elevation. Seeing how it feels. It's the last VO2 effort. Do a little recovery. We'll be up there tomorrow morning.
The start of Leadville. People are riding past. Nerves are kind of coming up, but we're going to push them down for a minute. I'm going to do like a 3-hour pre-ride. Look at St. Kevin's and Sugarloaf and Powerline, see what they're looking like right now, what condition they're in after the last 6 weeks, and then get back and relax. We have the Cold Collaborative film crew following us around, which is cool, and Avery's going to follow them around, so a little bit of inception going on. And yeah, I think it's just cool.
He's strong.
It's always nice to like get
Steady
out
and strong.
2 days before the race. I feel like everyone's a lot less stressed. Tomorrow, things start to kind of matter. So today we just go have fun, ride our bikes.
Hi everybody, my name's Shannon Vanderveer. I make movies. No, seriously. My name's Shannon, and I'm from Austin, Texas.
30.
I own a production company called Cold Collaborative, and I get the privilege of working with Avery and Alexi on their From the Ground Up project. And we have our own project going on for the Lifetime Grand Prix, and I'm getting a really sick shot right now, and I'm stoked on it. And yeah, it's just a really cool collaboration. So right now, Avery and myself and Matt's up there driving, Tyler's on the Movi Pro, Alexi's eating our dust, and we're having a really good time together.
Got it.
We're just spraying him with our dust. He loves us. This is going great. If you're a shitty filmmaker, my suggestion, just buy the most expensive camera on the market, because everything looks good and people think you're awesome.
Okay, let it be known. I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a home, this ain't a phone. Grind never stopping, I'm keeping it cold. Unlocking the door with the holy key. You supposed to be this close to me, and hopefully you understand G.O.D. Maybe this cold and I'm talking like no degrees. This ain't a fluke. I seen it way before it ever happened. He gave me the view. I had to put in my time on the TV. It coming in soon. I couldn't leave it all up to a variant or an experience. You gotta get it and do what it do. So complicated, homie, it's you. Always gonna wait until you in the mood. I've been running, keep up, gunning, stop the fight on your words. What you hear, not what you heard. I'ma hate on every verb. I'ma show you what it's worth. Every day I'm on the earth till they put me in the dirt. I'ma get into it first.
We are here in Leadville, Colorado, night before the race. Nerves are slowing down. It's been busy. We've been filming for From the Ground Up, so Avery has double duty, getting a little bit of me, lots of them, and also just kind of getting through normal race prep things. Today we got to the expo, filmed a bunch of interviews with our contestants, and kind of just did a little ride, a little jaunt. Saw the mandatory athlete meeting, and we all had a good time. Yeah, Leadville's cool because we had the whole family up here. We have a house of 16, pretty much. We've been cooking big family meals, and just kind of enjoying nights on the couch. But tomorrow's the big day, and time to see what everyone's made of, what everyone has left in the legs after 6 months of training. Oh, you little one. Alan always hides the cups from me, so I have to go digging. I got a thing about sticking my hand in places it doesn't belong. That's a good catch. That never happens. Using clear to get to the sodium level I want without overdoing the amount of carbs in the bottle.
Yeah, that's the trick, right? Yep.
Yeah, so we are using Sophie and Lexi code. P2 would be pipeline 2, P1 would be pipeline 1. If that makes sense. So there is pretty much 4 feed zones for the pro race. We're 7-hour race. So we will hit pipeline on the way out, which is pipeline 1. We'll hit Twin Lakes on the way out, which is right at the bottom of Columbine, which is Twin Lakes 1. On the way back, we'd call it Twin Lakes 2, pipeline 2. So I'll be starting off with 1 water, 1 super fuel, and 1 start bottle. Secret Alan Lynn special. And then in pipeline, I'll take 2 concentrated bottles, so 2 super fuel bottles. At Twin Lakes 1, I will just take a water and an ice sock. Headed uphill. If I'm really struggling, I will have someone else with the bottle, but the goal is to hopefully not have that much weight I'm carrying up. And then on the way back, you got pipeline 2 on the way home. Hopefully I won't need it. I got all the energy inside of me.
Yeah, we have alarms. Oh, 4. Oh wow, he picks them. 3 alarms. 4 hours of sleep. We get to 11 o'clock. We got that. 4 minutes.
Good morning, Leadville family! So excited for you today! Ride safe, ride strong, Godspeed, we love you, Leadville family!
Remember yesterday you made us a promise. I commit, I won't quit. You're better than you think you are. You can do more than you think you can. Dig deep, dig deep. Go get them, Garrett.
Good morning, Avery.
Passes. Many riders have pledged some money, $1 to.
It's on the Keegan one, right?
You're good.
Are you gonna be coming up that later? Columbine.
Good boy.
Nice cut. I feel like having bars right here. There's space. Nice. Nice.
Second place overall, John down the podium in the number 3 spot. He is a 3-time Leadville 100 champ, taking the number 3 spot. Fourth place.
Good place.
Coming out of Boulder, Colorado. And a few seconds.
Way to go.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Good job. Get your what's out. Actually, welcome home.
Thank you. That was somewhat fun.
That's it. Alright, we will call it. Hey Owen, Patrick, thanks for joining in. Grab some breakfast. Hannah Auto. Nice. Later, Owen. I'll catch you next time.